This is breaking news. Steam has made a change. They are making it so you can no longer track like title updates, developer title updates on Steam DB, which doesn't sound like a significant thing. It's like, okay, cool. But this is actually kind of a big deal because as you can see, Ben here describes, this applies to GTA 5 after 8 years of knowing when DLC is coming. It's now coming to an end. It's not clear. I've been trying to figure out if this is across all Steam. It seems like basically Steam has added the ability for there to be private branches when you're updating a game, which it's amazing that that was not a thing before, but you can see added private branches 1, and then all of this stuff gets removed because it's being moved into the private branch. And really, I mean, to put it very, very simply, all this means is that it used to be that when they made changes on Steam and they were updating the game or something, kind of like a Google Doc, you could see the changes being made, even if you weren't on the team. So we'd be able to see, oh, like I remember Starfield DLC leaked this way because we could see this change has been made on Steam. So boom, there we go. We can figure out what it is. And we see the name of the thing that's being changed so we can put together what it's going to be called and stuff like that. Again, it's amazing that this has been a thing for as long as it has been, but they've changed it now. So now there are private branches when you update something on Steam. And it's one more step that Steam is taking to add more privacy for the sake of developers and to crack down on some of these like data mining leaks and things like that. It's an interesting change. And I mean, some people are going to lose their minds, as we've seen already on social media. Some people are like, this is the first step. Steam is now going to start cracking down on SteamDB in general. They're going to lock down player counts and player numbers and things like that. Because of course, in the last year, in 2024, one of the big trends was looking at SteamDB to find where player counts were for like big flop games. For example, Unknown, I think it was called Unknown 9, wasn't it? Unknown 9, yeah. People would pull this up and then talk about the player counts, be like, look how terrible it is, and it's all awful and terrible. So some people are freaking out that Steam is going to start locking down SteamDB and basically what information is made public. I don't know. There's been rumors and speculation that big companies have sought to have at least the option to disable sharing how many players are in game and sharing this stuff. Because to be fair, I guess, you know, there are some people that point to this in kind of a delusional way and try to rage about it. Like they'll pull up a single player game and be like, wow, it had a lot of players when it launched, but now it doesn't. It's a flop. And it's like, no, dumbass. Like people finished the game and moved on. When you're comparing live service games, it's fair to point at concurrent player numbers over time because that's a big, I mean, that's like the name of the game. They have to have a lot of players. But for single player games, it's not that big of a deal. And which is why it's always funny when people bring it up. They're like, oh, well, I saw that. What would be an example? Maybe if we pulled up like The Witcher 3. They still have a ton of players online. But you're like, oh, wow. They went from 103,000 players down to 22. Wow, what a flop. It's like, no, it's stupid. The other one that they tried to do it with was Pal World, which still has amazing player counts. I mean, look at that. That's insane. Even this one, like, wow, peaked at 2.1 million all the way down here. Wow, how sad. And it's like, no, dude, it's a single player. Like, technically there is co-op, but it's just a different animal, you know? It's crazy. So I don't know what Steam is going to do. I would be surprised if they disabled all of that, like full out. But also, you know, it's if they want to give developers the option to hide player counts, I can't be that upset about it. Like, I don't know why I would be entitled to that information. I think it's funny. I like being able to see the information, but I don't think it would be a big deal if it was something they gave devs the option to keep private. Like, who cares? There's already information that's not public, like concurrent player counts on PlayStation or on Xbox. We don't get to see that. We can kind of infer from charts and chart rankings where something might be, but it's not that big of a deal either way. I like the information being public, but I'm not going to throw a fit if it's not. They won't. I mean, when you look at Steam, they don't have, like, nobody can bully them into anything, you know? Like Steam, it's the ultimate, like, they have all the FU money that they could possibly need. You cannot bully them into anything. They're going to do what they want to do, and you're going to like it. And so whatever they choose to do, they're doing because they think it's for the best, or in the best interest of their customers. And then secondarily probably the developers. So if they think that it's good information to have to be able to see concurrent player counts, then that's good. The one argument that I think is very, very fair for keeping concurrent player counts visible is that if you're looking at buying a live service game, like a multiplayer game, then it can be really important. Like what's a live service game that, what's that Smash Bros clone? It's like this. If you're looking at buying into Multiverse, which it's free, is my understanding, so you're not really buying in. But if you're looking at trying to settle down and make this the game for you and your friend group, and then you see that the player counts are really, really low, then that might inform you not to put money there, not to invest in the game, cosmetics or whatever. Like you might choose to move on and not bother with it once you gain this information that player counts are really low. So that would be one element where keeping this public could be very good for consumers, is just to be informed on live service stuff before you get into it. You'll probably be able to figure that out also with reviews and stuff, because people will mention if matchmaking times are bad. But still, I think more information is better, but I also would not throw a fit if they chose to make it private. But either way, based just on this, I don't think we can infer anything from it other than they're just trying to give developers the option to not have stuff leaked. Which, fair, fair. If they don't want DLCs, if they don't want dev stuff leaked ahead of time because they want it private, fair enough, fair enough.